supposed to wait on the corner for the light to change, even though the school is a couple blocks away. You know, you just wait on the corner. You know, and that stands out. And fast forward to 2010, almost 2011, you don't get that anymore.
How old were you then?
I was 14. Yeah,
oh, okay.
14.
All right. Okay.
And,
okay.
you don't get that anymore. And I just kind of like looking back, I would have to say that the mistakes that I made during my life, I think that there were times that people let me do what I wanted to do. And then, you know, when you have adults or anyone just chastise you, you know, I wouldn't do that if I were you, that kind of catches you. You know, and I think that maybe the youth today, for a lot of different reasons, don't have enough people kind of like mentoring them, monitoring their behavior. And some of us, maybe we're scared of the kids, you know. And they just do what they want, and, you know, there's no one there to check them for a lot of different reasons, you know. But I just wish we went back to 79 to one year.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I remember I had my first business when I was 6 years old. And an old lady came to my house and said, I've been watching you. You were everywhere when I was young. And you're only 6 years old. She said, I want to tell you something so you keep this with you until you really get older. She said, there's something on your shoulder here. And she said, you see it? I said, I don't see nothing. She said, something I showed to you. You see it? I don't see nothing. She said, there's a good angel and there's a bad angel. You better make sure you know what shoulder they are, because they could direct you, one could direct you the right way, the other one's going to direct you the wrong way. And what that lady told me, I was only about 6 years old. I was selling cosmetics in Marcy Projects at that time. That was 1950 or 51. And I used that one thing that she taught me, stay with me in doing business. The time I got to Vietnam, I learned how to distinguish which angel was which.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, I guess I was around 6 or 8 years old, something like that. And I remember going south, driving south with my aunt and one of my aunts and one of my uncles. And I had been taught, you know, long before that, how to use the bathroom, supposed to go someplace in private, etc. But going south, I was told you had to get out of the car and go into the shrubbery, to the woods. And I couldn't understand that because I was feeling like I was grown. I was knowing how to go to the bathroom, etc. And that you're not supposed to just go any place like that. But nobody ever explained to me why all of a sudden it was this contradiction. And I know I had to do it both ways, going down, coming back. But when I got to where we were going, I used the bathroom again. But I was a little confused, especially since nobody explained to me what was happening about racism. And you couldn't go into bathrooms at that time. It was segregated. So that was something that caused me a little discomfort. And especially since, you know, you couldn't express yourself in those days.
Yeah.
It was like you got the I message. I message meant shut up, or the next thing coming was a little physical therapy.
Yeah.
So you got, you know, so you sat there kind of confused.
Yeah.
My father was an alcoholic. He didn't live with us. I grew up with my grandparents. But it's amazing that he would go and drink. He's coming home drunk. And sometimes he would take me to the bar with him. But he would tell the men there, if they were going to use a profanity, my daughter is here, you can't do that. So when we're going home, he's always holding my hand, and the two of us are going home, holding hands, and even to this day, it's as if I can feel my father's hand holding my hand.
Wow.
And like you said, your ex-husband was not always there. He was not always there. But that impression is with me today. I can can still feel it holding my hand.
Wow.
And it gives me a strong attachment to the Father, the Creator, because I feel that hand holding my hand.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
And he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So that's why I have respect for everybody, I mean, because that is something good that he has left with us. God rest his soul.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yes, this is like what I remember is like really sad. I wish I didn't remember this. At the time, me and my sister was, our family, coming up like in the 60s. This is how hard it is to tell the story. Me and my siblings was taken away from our moms, and after 5 years of mental abuse and physical abuse and trying to disrupt our minds, we came home. My mother always taught us that you lean on one another. The whole world can be against you, but you got one another. Living in Park Slope, me and my sister Denise, was about 1960, 1961, because I was about 8, 9, and she was 8. Remember going up towards Prospect Park. Me and her walking. You know how you be playing and we walking, all right? I never thought that this could happen in Brooklyn. As we got up towards Prospect Park, I remember seeing a bunch of white, big white boys. They used to walk with them Great Danes, them big dogs. And I'm shaking because it's just so hard. And I remember this. My heart is beating fast. They took the dogs off of the leash. Okay, it was about 4 dogs, all right? And they looked at me and my sister, and they told us, run, niggas, run, okay? Park Slope, I lived on 1st Street. Me and my sister running. I can hear the dogs in the back of me. I can hear them. Could you imagine, you a 9-year-old child, you thinking about, oh, if I stop, I'm going to get bitten up in the back or the dog is going to attack me. And the whole time, I had to grab my sister's hand because now we together and we running. I have witnessed so much racial tension in Brooklyn. I used to live in East New York, okay, right there on Skank Avenue. There was a big rivalry, and this is going like in 1967 at the age, I'm 16, 15, you know how the teenagers do their things, okay? They had the New Lots boys, and Mr. Hanks used to be right on the corner of Livonia, okay? To make a long story short, they came and they burned out Mr. Hanks' store, which was black owned. So you know what we did? They set fire to the, used to be a taxi place that sit on. If anybody lived in East New York, you know what I'm talking about. There was a cab place that sat right on New Lots and Ashland. Make a long story short, it got to be a racial tension. I remember when they circled the park. At the time, I was going with Mark Nealon, that was my boyfriend, okay? Theodore Stokes, Denise, all of us, like we young. Joni, my cousin, we all playing. Me and my cousin went to the store, came back, the park was empty. They used to drive them black funeral cars and circle that park right up there on Skank and Livonia. It just sounds so odd, all right? And when they circle that park, they would tell you, run niggas, run, you better get out of the park. They stuck this boy named Pacos with an ice pick. They broke this little girl arm. Make a long story short, it came to be a racial riot. Police shoots this little boy named Eric Dean. You go in your computers, you'll see that this incident happened. This little boy got killed, Ernest Galashaw, and you know, after all the disturbance, that's the way it, we was fighting the cops. We fighting the police, and we here in Brooklyn. And I have never seen racial tension. So when you talk about the South, I can tell you what was going on up here in New York.